We're climbing rooftops, swinging through alleyways, and vanishing when Gordon's back is turned. That's right, it's Batman the Animated Series Gotham Under Siege by IDW Games. Why do we do that? Just say goodbye. Say goodbye to Gordon. This co-op caped crusade pits 1 to 5 players against the insanely evil supervillains of Gotham City. Setup begins with the shuffle of the 12 block cards. Remove 3 from the game and place the remaining 9 face down in a 3x3 grid in the center of the table. Place 1 building on each block, the order matters not. Next, place the Gotham City track parallel to one side of the grid. The compass on the top of the track indicates the 4 cardinal directions of the 4 battlegrounds in the game. You got your north, your east, your south, and your west. Place the tracker tokens on the Gotham City track. For a standard game, the bat signal starts at 2, the explosion token starts at 5, and the citizen starts at 8. In order to win the game, the players must survive 4 acts of villainous machinations without being overwhelmed. The players lose the game if either the explosion track or the citizen track reaches 0. Additionally, the team will also lose if an already wounded hero takes an additional wound. The players win if they survive all 4 acts and keep the explosion and citizen tokens in the positive. Next, place a random Act 1 card and Act 1 story cards along with the shuffled Mastermind cards near the Gotham City track. Gather all the thug, henchman, and ninja tokens into the bag and give it a shake. Heroes are now selected based on the number of players in the game. 1 player gets a minimum of 2 heroes, 2 players take up to 2 heroes each, and 3 to 5 players each take just 1 single hero. For each hero selected, that player takes the matching hero board, skill tokens, colored hero dice, hero mini, and hero skill cards. Next, determine the act leader by giving it to Batman, or if Batman is not in the game, a player chosen by the group. Starting with the leader and proceeding clockwise, each player places their mini on one of the 4 battlefields. Heroes may share battlefields, but it's tactically wise to spread out across the city to contain upcoming threats. Gameplay occurs over 4 acts, each divided into 3 phases: Act Phase, Hero Phase, and Crisis Phase. First up, in the Act Phase, players discard the previous Act card and the Act Leader token is passed to the left. We're going to skip this step in Act 1 because we just set it all up. Next, each player shuffles their hero skill deck and draws 2 cards, keeping one of their choice and placing the other one back on top of their deck. Now, the Act Leader shuffles the Act card and places it face up on the table. Consult this Act card and activate the machinations based on the number of players. For example, in our 4-player game, with this Destructive Mobs Act card, we place 5 story cards below the city track. Draw 4 masterminds and place their associated villain tiles, drawn randomly from the bag, in the same battlefield as their mastermind, noted in the top left corner. Finally, we place 14 villains from the bag around the city, one at a time, clockwise. When placing villains, the tiles of the same type go on top of each other, forming a stack. Lastly, the event on the bottom of the card may or must be completed by the Act Leader, depending on the Act card text. Next up, the Hero Phase, where players duke it out with the villains. The Hero Phase is played in rounds, each divided into 2 steps. The Roll Step, where everybody rolls their available dice and any bonus dice they have. Then the Activate Hero Step, where each player takes 1 die from their rolled pool and places it on either a story card, a skill card, or a hero board action, and then repeat. Many of the available spaces have die faces, which are the required rolls to fill that space. If a story card spaces are all filled based on the number of players, the card is turned sideways and considered completed. Any game effects on the card are now inactive. During the active hero step, players have 2 free action options they may use in addition to placing their dice. They may use the bat signal to change a die result by a factor of 1. Every use of the bat signal lowers the matching token on the city track. And they may also use one of their skill tokens to activate the action listed on their hero board. Discard the use token to a common token pool where they have a chance to be recovered in the game. If the players activate actions that deal damage, they follow the instructions to assign that damage based on location and player choice. To remove a villain or mastermind from the battlefield, enough damage equal to its rank must be delivered. 1 damage for thugs, 2 for henchmen, etc. Additionally, some actions allow movement of a hero. Movement from battlefield to battlefield is always adjacent unless the action specifies otherwise. Some actions allow heroes to scale the rooftops of Gotham. There's no game difference between buildings, the rooftops are all considered one location, and heroes there are considered to be in all battlefields for the purposes of resolving actions. It's pretty cool. You can kill all kinds of stuff. Rounds continue until all dice have been placed, then the crisis phase begins. First, players resolve the act card and story cards. Each undefeated story card penalizes the group in some way, either by lowering the explosion track, inflicting a citizen casualty which moves the citizen track down 1, or requiring a destruction roll. Destruction rolls force a roll of the die, and on an odd-numbered roll, a building of their choice is destroyed. On an even roll, nothing happens. Building destruction removes a building from the game and flips the city block card, generally resulting in another penalty to the group. Ooh. Some story cards also grant rewards for completion, including bonus dice and saving citizens. Next, the villains who weren't defeated in the hero phase attack the city. Each stack and mastermind gets a destruction roll to try and destroy more buildings in Gotham. Each hero in a battlefield, not on the rooftops, may attempt to prevent this damage by performing a heroic defense, placing their mini on 1 stack in their battlefield and rolling a die. On a roll of 1, that hero is wounded. Any other number rolled equals the amount of damage the controlling player may deal to the stack or mastermind. If the damage defeats the mastermind or the stack, that destruction roll is skipped for the turn. One note on the heroic action. During Act 4, a roll of 1 on the die doesn't cause 1 wound, it causes 2, which means an instant loss of the game, so be careful. The crisis phase ends with the cleanup step. Players discard their skill card, retrieve their dice, return bonus dice to the pool, and start a new turn with the Act phase. Players continue fighting crime until Act 4 passes. If the city is safe, the players win! I'm Becca Scott, and I like destruction. You can watch me play this game and other awesome games on Game the Game, right here on Geek and Sundry.